Today we are working in quadruped. So meet me down here on your hands and knees, making sure that your shoulders are stacked over your wrist and that your knees are comfortably under your hips. We're gonna go through a few cat-cows just to warm up our spine. So you are going to inhale, gently arch the back, looking up, letting belly fill with air. And exhale, reach that belly button up towards the sky, really curving your spine. And we'll do a few more of these at your own pace. So take a deep inhale through your nose, letting that belly hang, and exhale, reaching that belly button up towards the ceiling. Let's do 3 more. Deep inhale. Looking up in front of you, exhale, looking down towards those knees. Now meet me at a neutral spine. So back is flat, gaze is slightly at the top of your mat. And what we're gonna do is start pushing up through our shoulder blades. And then we're gonna lower down, squeeze the shoulder blades together, making sure that elbows are straight with a gentle bend here. We don't wanna hyperextend those elbows. So a few more just to warm up our upper body here. Right here, we are doing some serratus pushes or serratus presses. So we're activating the sides of our ribs here, really working those muscles. Let's do one more here. Good. Find that quadruped position where everything is nice and flat. You're gonna zipper in the core, and then we're gonna extend that leg out. You're almost going to internally rotate your thigh. So the inner part of your thigh is gonna feel like it's reaching up towards the ceiling. And we're just going to play with this motion very gently. You don't have to go super high. Just as high as you can without changing your low back. Everything else is nice and still. Let's do 2 more. Good. Last one here. Excellent. You're going to bring that knee right back in. And let's switch sides. So pointing that toe, reaching the inner thighs up towards the ceiling, zippering your core together here. So it's a very minimal motion. Meet yourself where you're at today. You're just lifting as high as you can without changing your spine. Let's do one more. Come back to this quadruped position. Now we're gonna do something called fire hydrant. So your knees are gonna stay in this 90-degree position, making sure that your back is nice and flat. So imagine that you have a cup of water laying on your pelvis and you don't wanna spill that glass of water. So you're gonna take an inhale to prepare. And as you exhale, you're going to lift one leg up as high as you can without tipping that glass of water off your low back here. And then exhale, lift that leg up. Gaze is still at the top of the mat. Let's do 3 more on the side. Good. Do a little check-in to what your back is doing right now. Last one on this side. Here we go. We're going to switch over to that other side. So reset, making sure that the back is nice and flat. Take an inhale to repair. Exhale, lift that hip while making the back nice and level. Let's do 3 more here on the side. Last one. Good. Let's go into a brief little child's pose, releasing any tension in that low back. You can wiggle around a little bit, whatever your low back needs. We can find a few of those cat-cows just to release any tension in that low back. So find that neutral spine where your back is nice and straight. We don't want any kind of arching or lifting. So find that neutral spine. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into that fire hydrant that we found. And then we're gonna do very tiny hip circles. So making sure that glass of water is still very level on your hips. You're gonna lift that hip up and very tiny hip circles without opening up. Everything is level. We're gonna go for 5, 4, keep breathing, 3, 2, 1. Hold it here. We're not done. Let's reverse the directions of the circles. 4, 5, very small. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower it down. Let's do the same thing to the other side, making sure that the back is nice and level. You're lifting into that fire hydrant, and we're going to rotate very small for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here. Reverse the directions for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Lower that leg down. Now making sure that the back is still nice and flat. We're going to slowly start reaching up with the arms, almost feeling like it's slightly rotating up over your head, and then slowly coming down. Nothing else is moving. The only thing that's moving is your hand. So you're going to slide forward until you're reaching in opposition. Slowly internally rotate your hand so that the thumb is almost reaching up towards the ceiling and a little away from you. Slide it back. Let's do 3 more. Sliding hand forward, reaching. Everything else is nice and still here. You might feel a little bit of a burn through your supporting side. Last one. Sliding forward, reaching, and down. Let's switch sides, making sure weight is evenly pressed on this other hand. You're going to reach forward and externally rotate. Slide in. Good. Let's do 4 more on the side. Reaching forward, twisting away. Let's do a few more. And last one here. Excellent. Do a few more cat-cows just to reset. We're going to go into the full bird dog position. So that's us moving our contralateral or opposite arm and opposite leg. So when you're doing this, let's shift our weights to the right side of our hand and the left leg. So now that we have that diagonal weight shift, we're going to take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, slowly start sliding the opposite arm and leg, reaching that inner thigh towards the ceiling, inner arm towards the ceiling, and slowly coming down. We're going to shift our weight to our left hand and right leg and slowly start sliding away from us, reaching our inner thigh and inner arm up towards the ceiling, and then slowly sliding it down. Let's do a few more here. And you can play with your breath here. Just making sure everything is stacked on top of each other. Back is nice and still to the best of your ability in this motion. Let's do one more on each side. Last one here. Excellent. The last exercise we're going to do is something called a bear plank. So make sure that your feet are tucked right under you. Back is still neutral here. And we're going to make sure that our core is nice and zippered in. We want to protect our low back here. So you're going to take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, you're going to hover those knees up just about an inch. You're going to hold it and then slowly lower down. So let's do that a few more times. You're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift just a few inches. Everything is staying the same. And lower down. Let's do 5 more. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift. Lower down. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, zipper the core in. Lower down. 3 more here. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. And for this last one, we're going to hold it up and we're going to add some pulses. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift. And we're going to pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Zipper in that core. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower everything down. This concludes our first day of quadruped. Let's cool down with a nice little child's pose. Release any tension in those wrists. You can roll them out a little bit while you're here. They worked very hard. Take a deep breath through your spine here. Excellent. Let's do a little bit of wrist rolls here. Our wrists were working really hard for us. Thank you for joining me on this quadruped day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.